Here we talk about team structures, which are valid in general and therefore can also be applied to test teams. The test team is described as a social structure designed to achieve a collective objective. The team structure creates order and relations among the organizational parts. There are two primary goals of organizational structures. First, the breakdown of test activities and to assign them responsibilities. And also to coordinate and oversee the test activities to ensure they align with the collective objective. There are different factors that decide which type of team structure works best for any given project or situation. Work specialization determines the extent to which work in the test team should be subdivided into separate jobs. Hierarchy decides on the number of layers or levels of management within the test team. The span of control determines how many subordinates a single manager or supervisor should be responsible for. The chain of command defines to whom a specific individual or group should report concerning their work. Departmentalization chooses whether jobs should be grouped within departments or subteams based on common expertise or according to the product or service offered. Formalization decides whether written rules, records, or procedures should be extensively used to coordinate and control the activities of different individuals, or whether these should be kept to a minimum. Centralization determines whether decisions should be made at the top of the company or delegated to below. And depending on how those factors are used or defined, there are four distinct types. You have a simple structure, you have a vertical structure, matrix structure, and the bureaucracy. In the following, we will go into the details of those four. Starting with the simple structure. Simple structure is uncomplicated, none or low departmentalization, wide spans of control, centralized authority, minimal formalization. It has the potential to be very quick and effective, and it is fitting for small test teams up to 10 to 30 people, depending on the product situation. However, the simple structure is very dependent of individuals, and it is ideal for agile development with highly skilled and effective teams. Then the vertical structure. Here, a hierarchy was defined with a span of control in the chain of command. You may have a functional specialization or product-based vertical structures. Departments may exist with defined formalizations. On the negative side, you may have potential politics introduced and loss of speed. A vertical structure can be introduced for growing and established test teams with a more stable system under test. Then the matrix structure combines functional and product departmentalization. It is good for complex responsibilities defined with functional and disciplinary managers. But you may have potential of overlapping responsibilities, and you have more complicated communications. Matrix structure is used for complex organizational situations and interdependent test activities. Last, the bureaucracy, which has, of course, many negative associations. However, it can be fitting for some situations. So the bureaucracy has standardization as its core concept. You have formalized rules, centralized authority, narrow spans of control, a very strict chain of command, and activities are covered by processes. Of course, on the downside, you have slow execution, at least compared with other structures, and you may have a low degree of innovation. However, there can be situations where these circumstances are good if you have highly routine tasks with high-stake test activities and potential regulatory and complicated background.